Board of Education meeting for the East China School District. If we could please begin by having a moment of silence in the Pledge of Allegiance. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I'd like to ask for a motion to add a discussion item, and the discussion item would be an adjustment to the start of the East China regular Board of Education meetings till 6 p.m.
So moved.
Support? Any discussion? All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Oppose the same sign. Motion carries.
So that'll be 8C then?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, at this time, I would like to call forward the Executive Director of Finance, Tina Thrift, to administer the oath of office for our school board. Thank you, Tina.
Raise your right hands and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of this office
the duties of this office
as a member of the Board of Education
as a member of the Board of Education
of East China School District,
of East China School District,
St. Clair County, Michigan,
St. Clair County, Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tina, and congratulations, board members. At each January meeting, the East China School District elects its officers for the Board of Education. So at this time, may I please have nominations for the President of the School Board?
I would like to nominate Jeannie Frank for President of the School Board.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other nominations? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Congratulations, Mrs. Frank.
Thank you.
President Frank.
Thank you. And thank
You are now in charge.
Thank you. And, well, thank you for your trust in me. Okay, so then let's move on to the position of Vice President. Could I have a nomination, please?
I'd like to nominate Pat Biebuck for Vice President.
Support.
Are there any other nominations for Vice President? Any discussion? Okay, then everybody in support, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Okay, congratulations, Mrs. Biebuck.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Mrs. Frank.
Okay, so let's move on to the position of Treasurer. Could I have a nomination for Treasurer, please?
I will nominate Amy Murphy.
Support.
Are there any other nominations for Treasurer? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Congratulations, Mrs. Murphy.
Congratulations.
Go, girl.
And last but not least, could I have a nomination for Board Secretary, please?
I would like to nominate Lynn Griefor.
Support.
Are there any other nominations for Secretary?
I just realized that.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, congratulations, Mrs. Griefor.
And at this time, would it be okay if I
Yes,
give
please.
everybody
Oh, everybody there. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. official now.
It's official.
Yeah. Make it official.
I'd also like to, at this time, welcome our 2 new board members. That's it.
Hopefully that's not any
I'm off to a real good
indication of how
start.
things are gonna go.
Should have left it.
Thank you. As I was saying, I'd like to welcome our 2 newest board members, Mike Westrick and Karen Cedar. We're happy to have you on board with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so at this time, we'll move on to item number 4, interest recognition and inquiry. Board of Education members, does anybody have something they'd like to share?
I do.
Okay.
Riverview East is starting a new program, and I thought, rather than summarizing myself, I would read the first paragraph of the letter that was sent home. So it states that beginning January 2019, Riverview East High School is introducing the Prepare You curriculum, an innovative program that educates young people about a series of 15 mental health topics, including how to decrease anxiety and stress, process anger, develop problem-solving skills, promote healthy family systems, foster healthier relationships with their peers, and recognize suicidal ideation. Okay, sorry. It also addresses how to deal with the virtually universal impact of social media in their lives, which many experts believe is directly connected to the steep increase in teen suicide over the last decade. At a time when 49.5% of U.S. adolescents likely meet the criteria for mental health disorder, it has never been more important to take a proactive approach in addressing the physical, social, and emotional challenges teens face today during their high school years. It just sounds like an amazing program.
All right, great. Anybody else?
Just want to recognize Ron Glodich had a guest column in the Times Herald, and it was a good one everybody should read. And I thought he represented the district well in his writing. So.
I also just wanted to mention, I'm sure we're all on Facebook, but Ryan Felix.
Don't be so sure.
Oh, okay. Don't believe everything that's there either. But there is a really good article, and I might have mentioned this before. Ryan Felix has an excellent post about the bond. And if you haven't read it, if you just search for his name and read it, it's really good. The comments have been positive. But I would suggest everybody read it if you haven't.
Anybody else? Mrs. Saibula?
Yes, I wanted to just take a minute to welcome our 2 new trustees to the board. Thank you for your service. And as I was saying earlier when we walked in, after today's meeting, you only have 71 more left to go. So it'll fly by. But thank you very much. It's a big commitment, and we appreciate that. I also wanted to thank Kirk Rozelka, our Director of Operations here in East China, for keeping our aging buildings running through this crazy weather time. He's been checking each building each day, and I appreciate all the hard work that he's done. So thank you.
Okay, item number 5, special recognition.
Mr. Ron Miller.
Good evening, everybody. President Frank, members of the board. January 2019, although tomorrow is February, January 2019 has been declared School Board Member Appreciation Month. We're fortunate in East China to have such a dedicated group of individuals to serve on our school board. Board members serve without compensation. That says a lot of things, but it certainly says a true commitment to the school community. On behalf of the staff, parents, students, and community, thank you to each board member for your service on behalf of our school community. So in recognition of the significant efforts of the board, a book has been donated to each school's media center in the board member's name. We have various administrators who are going to present those books. I'd like to recognize each board member for their years of service. President Jeannie Frank, serving since 2013, her 6 years. Treasurer Amy Murphy, also serving since 2013 and a 6-year member. Trustee Todd Distorath, serving since 2015, a 4-year member. Pat Bebuck, serving, Vice President, Pat Bebuck, serving since 2015, a 4-year member. Secretary Lynn Griefor, serving since 2017, a 2-year member. We're going to welcome Karen Cedar, a new board member beginning 2019. And also,
student.
also welcoming Michael Westrick, a new board member beginning 2019. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along to item number 6, the consent agenda. A motion is needed for the approval of minutes from the regular Board of Ed meeting on December 18th. Approval of the payment of bills, financial statement, and schedule of investments.
So moved.
Support.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Item number 7, recognition of persons wishing to address the board. Mrs. Terry Mullane.
Good evening, Superintendent Segula, members of the board. I appreciate you getting this meeting in January so that we could recognize you for School Board Appreciation Month. As we all know, lots of people have opinions about what is best for school, but few actually step up and serve and make the tough decisions. On behalf of the East China Education Association, I would like to thank each of you for sharing your time, your efforts, and your talents with the East China School District. We appreciate the collaborative relationship you hold with all the stakeholders. Please accept this token as a small thank you of what you do for us. And I don't have the assistants, so I'm going to pass them out myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you. Okay, item number 8, information discussion items. The first item on this subject is the election resolution. Mrs. Suzanne Zybula.
Yes, members of the board, I'm just asking to draw your attention to the resolution to call the election for the bond proposal in May 7th of 2019. That was included in your board packet, and it is a action item further on in our agenda on number 9. I just wanted to open it up for discussion if there was any. Any questions? No. Great, thank you.
Next item, internet bids. Mr. Craig Headley.
President Frank, Superintendent Zybula, new members of the board, old members of the board. Good evening, everybody. In your board packet, I just want to share with you a recent bid that we posted and then opened on January 18th regarding 2 services that, of course, is important to our district. So internet service and fiber optic cable that connects all of our district buildings together. Forgive me, I have to take my glasses off so I can read. As you may be aware, our current contract for internet service and fiber optic cable is set to expire at the end of this fiscal year, which is June 30th, 2019. We're fortunate enough to receive discounts offered to school districts through the Universal Service Fund, if we, of course, dot our I's and cross our T's and do all the paperwork correctly. But part of the rules and regulations is we have to have a contract in place for these services by the end of March, specifically March 27th. So in following their rules, regulations, we posted a bid in December. And one of the things that I asked for is a 1, 2, or 3-year agreement with these services. For those that have been on the board, may remember I was up here last year. We talked about a 1-year agreement only. And the reason I wanted to do a 1-year agreement is the Universal Service Fund made a lot of changes in their terminology and how you applied for these discounts. And there was concern by us, by school districts across the country, of not being funded or getting our discount. So I wanted to just do a 1-year bid for these services. We were approved, which is great. And I think we, again, did dot our I's and cross our T's. So I want to move forward. In the past, we've done multiple year agreements. I'm comfortable that we're not going to run into any issues, so you'll see that I'm looking for a multiple-year agreement moving forward. But again, per the requirements, we're supposed to leave the bids out for 28 days. We did a little bit more than that. And then we opened the bids just this past January 18th. Tonight is informational only. In your packet, you'll see some of the technical stuff that we asked for these services. I'm not going to bore you with some of that technical stuff. But 2 companies did bid for these services, analyze the bids, and typically we have a few inquiries, a few emails, and a couple try to bid for these services. One didn't meet the specifications, but the other company did. Of course, just so happened to be the company that we have a current contract with, which is good, no problems. We have great service with them. So then again, in your board packet, it really breaks it down. I kind of break it down per student. So the cost for the fiber to connect our buildings and for internet service is broken down to $2.73 per month per student, per district student. Now, we go through all this hassle so we can receive a discount from the Universal Service Fund. Our district is slated at about 50%, so we get 50% off that cost by applying properly and getting these contracts in by the 27th. So really, it's like $1.36 per student per month. So next month, I'm going to, ask that we, I'm going to put on there, ask the board to approve a 3-year contract with the Community Educational Network for these services. Any questions? I'll put my glasses back on.
I have one question.
Sure.
If it's per student per month, do we pay in the summer too when the kids are off?
Yes.
Or, yeah, we
Yep.
do. Okay. So
It's a
just
full-year contract.
Full-year
Yep.
contract, okay.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Craig.
guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Greg.
you. Thanks, Greg.
Okay, so 8C is our addition this evening, and that's adjusting the start time of the board meetings. Mrs. Sibula?
Yes, thank you. This additional information discussion item to move the regular school board meetings from 7 p.m. to 6 p.m. will only be informational and discussion and voted on at the next meeting. So just discussing it tonight. But it was brought to my attention that the 7 o'clock board meeting interferes with a lot of the events that are scheduled in the district, whether they're athletic or PAC performances or concerts. They all usually start at about the 7 o'clock time. And this would allow our administrators to be at those events and our school board members as well if we move the meeting up 1 hour. So that was the impetus for the discussion item.
Anybody have anything they'd like to add to that?
No, I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
All right,
Great.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're moving right along. Item number 9 are action items. A, recommended action per administration recommendation. The board adopts the 2018-19 general fund cafeteria latchkey budget at the function level as revised and presented at its December 18th, 2018 meeting. Motion is needed.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any discussion on this? Do you have any questions? Okay, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, that motion carries. B, recommended action. Per the administration recommendation, the board approves the Marine City High School Fine Arts New York City trip as presented at its December 18th, 2018 meeting.
So moved.
Support?
Is there any discussion on this? Anybody have any questions?
How many students would be going?
They currently have, let me see. The travel dates are June 14th through the 17th. And I'm looking here to see if he has the number of students attending. Yes, there's 93 total travelers, 29 chaperones, and then the remaining teachers and students. Or students.
Big group.
Yep, 93 total.
Anything else? Okay, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Number C, recommended action. Per administration recommendation, the board approved the resolution calling for election be held on May 7th, 2019. And this was an information item earlier, but due to the timeline, we need to put this on the agenda tonight as an action item. So I need a motion.
So moved. Support.
Any discussion?
Is there anything to report from your trip to the state to make this
Just
happen?
that it was approved.
Just pretty,
Yep.
we're on our timeline,
We're on our
everything's going well,
timeline,
and
and yes, yep, the campaign is coming next.
thanks.
Okay, anything else? Okay, everything's moving smoothly, so, yeah,
Right on track.
excellent.
Okay, so all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, that motion carries also. And we don't have anything on here for our next meeting items, so I guess at this time, the meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming.